It's happening.
Whoa.
Whew. Resident Evil 4. I'm very tired today. Not tired enough to not stream, but I'm just a slightly low energy day.
That's fine.
And everyone's gonna have to deal with it.
We can go a little short for you. It's a Sunday. It's a low energy day just in nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Neat. Okay, so I did do all of the shooty things. And
It was horrible.
it was awful. Hi, Emmy. And I do have some new charms. We've got Don Diego on at the moment. We got our Illuminados emblem, and we got our little handgun ammo guy. So we get 15% more rifle ammo from the craft 15% rifle ammo craft bonus frequency, 20% melee critical hit rate, and more handgun ammo for the frequency for getting more habits more consistently.
The
So,
handgun ammo one seems pretty good because like the am's quite often anyway.
yeah.
The melee critical seems like it could be very good indeed because a critical hit in this is an instant kill.
Yeah. So, and I figure we're using the rifle often enough that, like, if I craft stuff, I could get bolts, but we'll see how we like the bolt gun.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's all that happened off stream. I made things. Or I got things, I guess. Shooting range. Real fucking difficult, actually.
If you're trying to be perfect, it is.
Well, why? What else would we be going for? Who these?
If there's a save point by the lake, we have to try shooting the water.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just forget how to speak for a minute there. It's fine. It's just a cop.
I think he's been decaffeinated.
Oh! Big fish.
What was that?
There's a big fish.
Is there lago? Does that translate to the lake?
I think so, yeah.
So there's a lake hiding in the lake.
The fish is the lake? It wasn't a lake, it was a fish.
The fish is the lake, and the lake is actually an ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
I don't understand why that's so hard to understand. Makes perfect sense to me. What's this? When low on boat fuel. Excuse me? Boat fuel is stored with the generator fuel inside the processing building at the fish farm. Take only what you need. I'm taking all of it. Actually, is the thing.
I'm hoping that the boat fuel is like a key that we need to start the boat and not like a resource that we need to manage.
Oh, also I turned all the sound down when I was playing last night.
Oh, that makes sense.
I was talking with people.
Was the same shooting range cloud music over and over.
Like of all the like interstitial music it could have been. Not the worst.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just repetitive after a while, I imagine.
Yeah. And I might have actually just turned it up way too loud, actually. There? Okay, we'll see. I want to go... I think there was a place that I could go in there, but also I want to loot things before we do that.
It looked like there was a cave.
Yeah. Boat? Fish! How do I get fish?
Careful. Shoot in the water. Might be someone in there that doesn't like that.
Who would be in the water?
Aquaman.
All the more reason to shoot the water.
Unbelievable.
Listen. I like angering people. What is the sound? It's
Enduring
guys.
aqua people.
Not the aqua people.
Including but not limited to men's.
I mean,
Just hate that bird in particular.
no, man, we can't wiggle.
She ducked right at the last second.
Too wiggly.
She sensed it coming.
She knew. Horrible. Ah!
Shit. God damn it.
That's what I'm saying.
I think what you were saying was, ah!
Well, if I was gonna be what I was gonna say, they're coming over here. They're coming over here.
Bickering like an old married couple.
Maybe they are an old married couple.
They could well
man.
be.
I think I just saw a snake come out of the water. Excuse me.
Right, so a bit with snakes in the water. Kind of roughly around this time in the original.
Sir.
Oof.
I was
that's first death.
Yeah. You know what, we're just gonna reload.
Okay.
We're just gonna reload.
You have to watch out for the water slinker.
Well, what if I love the water slinker? Hi Arcade, how's it going? It's fine. We know not to just fall down anymore. Oh! Castle!
Oh, nice.
It's
Think we'll ever go there?
Nah.
Yeah, probably
Never.
not.
House!
Looks like there's something over there.
You think the water slinker would listen? Oh, that Gunkus is on
Slinker the snake, or is this the water slinker we're gonna meet in a second?
all of the above. I thought the Gunkus on Leon's binoculars was on my
Yeah, me
monitor
too.
for a
I
second.
tried to wipe it off my screen.
Same? I was like, that was not there 2 seconds ago. What happened? And then I touched it and I was like, oh, it's not. That's not anything. Ooh!
Damn. Look at the size of that.
Big castle. Anything else I can look at? Fish.
Fish. Oh, that's a big fish.
Big fish.
Right by the shore there.
I wonder what would happen if I tried to grab fish.
Well, that Leon could grab fish.
Wait. No, wait. Ah!
Oh.
Found thing. Fish.
It still doesn't want you to shoot the water.
It's very good.
Comes out to defend his fish friends.
I mean, I guess that's fair enough. But consider, I want the fish. Give me the fish.
Not allowed.
Okay. Well, I probably shouldn't have
Here
looked
he
at
comes, the Finny Fun Police.
No. Anything but the Finny Fun Police.
Looks like there's something over there.
No. I cry.
Damn. Look at the size of that.
Yeah, we know. It's a big castle.
We did say the lake was the sea, and he is under the sea. That just makes sense. It's just logic.
I guess. Yeah, I suppose.
I'll stop now.
I mean, You're tormenting yourself just as much as me. With
Kingdom
talk
Hearts
with
Day is
Fun.
my favorite day of the week.
Oh no. It is certainly a day of the week now.
Yeah, and you're playing. It wasn't my favorite day when I was playing. Weird how that happens.
Definitely.
That's not true. We got Haley and it was great.
It was very good. Did I hear? I didn't hear. Okay.
Just the wind.
It was just the wind. I fully expected a man to just jump out and get me. Hi, Sylvie. The remake is very good. Let me tell ya. Good game. How are you, friend? Yeah, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this for now. See any more medals? Get that food. Hey, get that food.
Your Pokemon's still alive, Sylvie. How did it go? Oh. You know.
Thank you. Ooh, how is
playing Pokemon, and I had 2 tabs of Bulbapedia open and was just saying Pokemon things. And I was worried I was annoying everybody, but no one said anything, so I kept going.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta keep just saying things. Where are people?
Narika sucks. Oh, it's Hammer Boy again.
Big button! Be done? Be done. Be done.
It like kicks up a lot of smoke when you fire the shotgun.
Oh! Oh! Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought she was getting ready to bug up. He was gonna bug up.
He was flipping around like crazy in the water.
Ah! Leon!
When he makes like a weird click after you shoot, that means it's out of bullets now.
Yeah, I noticed that while I was doing the shooting range, but I hear it and I like acknowledge it, but I still just am like, it's fine. I know better. Ooh. I like it when that happens. Makes me
it's
happy.
great. What happened to you, Snake? Who killed you?
Me, it was a grenade.
Probably was a grenade. This game's actually a 0 out of 10, Sylvie. When you upgrade the capacity on your guns, the merchant don't give you free bullets. And when you kill a snake, it gives you a dead snake and not a chicken egg. So basically, this is trash. I'm sorry if you were excited for this, but they really beans it up.
Mistakes were made. We still get chicken eggs. We just get chicken eggs from
only from chickens
and or ovens. And or ovens. Don't you crossbow me.
I want my snake chicken eggs. Yeah, glad I could save them on it.
Can you die already, sir? Hey, look, listen. We have a stupid snake, okay? But it's fine, because this is the last snake we need to sell to the merchant for his dying friend. So he can slurp up a danger noodle before he dies.
I do like when you examine the snake and Leon's like, huh, I could eat the snake.
Yeah. I'm still... I heard beeping. I heard the beeping of a bomb. fungus. Hello?
You can eat snake, and there's nothing particular wrong with it. It's just not an animal that's commonly thought of as food, I guess.
I think it's just the fact that it mentions, like, oh, you need to have, like, the... Okay, I have a bass now. The fact that it mentions...
Hey, I should remove the poison glands. It's like, Leon, I
Yeah.
don't trust you to do this.
I, like... Oh.
Oh.
Let's just go ahead and use that, I think. Please? That's great, because then I can put Snake there. And what am I supposed to do with this? I can eat it. It gives me health.
Fish is a horrible Tetris ship.
Yeah, it is.
Fish, you are bad at inventory Tetris.
Oh, fuck off. Well, you know, it could have gone better. It was kind of funny, so... Sir.
Out of the way.
Oh, he's doing the thing.
Oh, he is. It's
Wiggling down there. Sorry.
Nope, that's fine. I appreciate it. Sir, I wish you had been closer so that I didn't have to stab you in the neck. And I could have just kicked you instead. But I guess we can't have it my way all the time. So that's fine. Anyway, hi, how's everyone doing? Hello?
We're eating snacks in chat, I think.
Oh.
Barbecuing up some snacks.
Oh.
I don't know how Naked Snake prepares the snakes. He just seems to like peel them and then just bite into them. Just sushi snakes.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry you're not doing well. Feel better. Stop being sick. Just stop being ill. Have you considered just telling yourself to not be sick anymore?
I thought you were doing a joke. Sorry, Amy.
I also thought it was a joke, and then I saw the fever thing. And I was like, oh wait, no, you're you are sick. I hear a snake, by the way.
I heard some hissing.
What? Where?
Oh,
Snake! Got him.
You have 2 pocket snakes and 2 pocket fish.
I have too much shit in my inventory. Please help.
This is fine. We could eat a snake or a fish. We're
Oh,
down a bit of
good.
health.
I eat
Yeah,
this.
delicious snake.
I just want to sell these, is the big thing. Snake. This is horrible and I hate it.
Look, we try, but there's a lot of weird shapes.
Yeah.
Things coming in this one.
Yeah.
I'm not judging.
What if I said I was?
We have saved that dog.
Yeah, that dog, totally fine. That
We haven't
dog,
got
great,
to-
actually.
We ain't got to El Gigante yet, so we can't say if that dog returns.
But we did save that dog. See that snake. I hear another one.
In case somebody doesn't know the law, his name is That Dog because when he comes back, Leon goes, "It's that dog,"
It's that
and
dog.
it is. It's that
It is
dog.
that dog. We love that dog.
From hit video game Resident Evil 4. That dog. Where are
Okay,
these
then.
snakes hiding?
I don't know, but there's.
Oh.
I wasn't sure that there was actually one there. Ooh! Fuck, that means there might be more around here. Ugh. Also, sorry, we are gonna be looting. It's loot
Nuts.
time.
You got it. It's required.
Can we, Leon?
I think you get that's an Ashley platform. There's that bit of cloth hanging off it.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell me that I can lift a friend up.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
How we get? How make Leon jump good?
Leon, want it?
Leon, do a leap.
Leon, leap!
Put Ashley in the dumpster and then we shove the dumpster over to the...
Yes, please. Can I? What's up here, actually? Hi, it's the part of the video game where I just run around and I loot stuff.
Wait, Kish. Turn around. Climb that rock. Okay, no, sorry. I just saw that big square rock and I was like, is that the one we shot the thing onto earlier?
I wish. I think it was closer
It was on
to
like
the water.
a beach.
Yeah. But good keeping an eye out for it, because I definitely forgot about that. Like, completely forgot about it.
Gotta keep an eye out for big square rocks.
It's true. Okay. Alright, listen. I want that. Like, how do I get up there?
You tried climbing? Have you tried jumping?
No. Should have tried those. Smart thinking. I don't know what I'm trying to say. My brain is broken today. Hi.
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
It's fine.
Broken brain day.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Sorry. Stupid gross stepped right in front of me. What did he think was gonna happen? Smokey!
Oh, good find.
You're a snake.
Snake.
Snake? Snake?
Snake!
Snake?
Don't hear him anymore.
Oh, snake!
So many snakes out.
I
So many snakes in.
I think I had too
This is
many
fine.
snakes.
We just have to find the merchant and never look at the inventory. Because it's horrible in there.
How do I pick anything up, though?
Do you need to pick things up in this game? Probably not,
I guess
right?
not. Probably not.
Hey, a little bit of space.
Just a tiny little itty bitty bit of space.
Room for a single extra snake if we can find one. Merchant, buy my snakes. Where are you? I have snakes to sell.
Egg! Egg! Oh, jeez. Oh, hey! Boat fuel!
This is
I'm glad that doesn't fit in that, that part of my inventory, because that would have been unfortunate. Anything? No. I found 3 blue medallions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we found any in the quarry, and it did say there was split between the quarry and here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not.
So, had to tell where we should be looking.
I would like to find all of them, but I'm also not too pressed about it since this isn't gonna be my big run. That's the hardcore mode one.
The big run. We're playing on big mode.
Biggest mode. Listen, biggest mode, very difficult.
It's really hard. It's not messing around. In hardcore mode.
Yeah, it is there to ruin your day.
Yes, I talked to Sam as well. He's been playing on hardcore mode. He died a couple times in the village as well.
Anyone else? Ma'am? I hear you. I hear a lot of ma'am. Nope. Ass. Hi.
Nice of it to hold still.
Oh.
Oop.
Pick these up.
Reload like you mean it.
Nice.
That's another
rush.
reason this game is 0 out of 10. Leon has to put in every bullet that he wants to reload individually now instead of just doing 2 and saying, well, that's done.
Oh.
Have you heard of managing your inventory?
Oh.
Fish out crud in?
Yeah.
It is annoying because we can't. We'll lose some of the screws because the bag is sideways.
Well, I could.
But there's no way to turn it around.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck.
There's 5 snakes in our case. Think about how we feel.
Think about how stinky my case is gonna be. Yes, I want to discard my fish.
I'm sorry, fish. Swim free, my friend.
He's toss the dead fish back into the water. He'll come back. He'll feel great in just a minute. Okay. Well, this was tragic. Fuck!
We don't need that.
No, but I want it.
Nah. Rubbish. Rubbish knife. We have a good knife.
That's what I can make. Well, I can't make anything, actually.
Can make submachine gun ammo for the TMP.
For that TMP I use so much!
Yeah, the TMP that we own and have. It's right there in the inventory.
You mean you don't see it? What do you mean? It's right there.
The TMP actually lives in Canada. You don't know her.
You can't meet her.
She goes to a different school.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, we have to go back to the merchant. Like, that's non-negotiable.
Merchant help! Buck full of snake.
Merchant! Buy my trash! Merchant! Buy my trash!
Buy my snake.
What have I got? A surprise for you, friend.
Leon just slides the briefcase over the table and opens it, and there's just fucking dead snakes inside.
Almost anything.
Does anything fit in?
What have you got for me, stranger?
Snakes! Buy them!
It's that snake!
You are in luck. I have snakes and fish.
Oh, fish is garbage.
Yeah, maybe we don't ever pick up a fish ever again. I think I'm like autopiloting with like picking up fish because I'm like, oh, I need to, you know, give it to my good friend the Duke, and that's not this game. He's not gonna cook me up delicious food. Merchant's not gonna make me a delicious meal.
He doesn't do that.
No.
Doesn't have that move. He doesn't even have 3 bullets to give you in this one.
It's true. I would like reload speed on this, please. And reload speed on that, please.
I think the reload speed upgrades might actually be really good on the slow weapons, because it like doubles it and then triples it from default, rather than like just increasing the time by like some weird amount.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Then
Okay, so
I
once
need-
you get one, it's gone. You can't like get as many yellow diamonds as you want or whatever, or yellow herbs.
that is what I was testing out, and that's good. That is
Yeah.
good to know.
There's some things money can't buy.
I mean, yellow diamond is worth a shit ton, so I'll trade it in for the 3 spinels. Now
Got a
10 for the laser
selection.
sights.
Good things on sale.
There's not really anything else to buy. Okay.
Come
Hey!
back
Hey! Case upgrade? Case upgrade when? Hey. Friend.
I want to be able to hold more fish.
Need to be able to fit every single possible snake I come across.
I think the fish definitely not like super good in the original, but I don't remember it being that bad. I'm not sure I'd bother picking them up.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna. Is the thing. Here's the thing.
This takes up 3 slots.
They're
I don't
horrible.
know, they do take up a lot of slots in the original.
Yeah.
But you don't have to deal with like knives and gunpowder
Everything
in the original
else.
and screws.
Yeah, kind of being rude that way. You know, did you just like break your legs doing that,
You
buddy?
did a parachute roll, it's fine.
Yeah, but it didn't sound good.
Don't shoot the fish.
I'm not gonna shoot the fish. I'm looking for medallions.
Not worth it.
We were looking for medallions, okay? So I should. Let me put that where my shotgun is, so I can like actually use it at some point. Because if it's not good, I want to get all that shit out of my inventory. Oh wait,
That makes
still have
sense.
that hexagon piece.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
We need one more anyway, but
Yeah. But let me put it there while I'm thinking about it. Okay, and then heal. And it's full. I'm scared.
I'm scared there's gonna be a fuel meter when you get in the boat, and I'm also scared that Galaga's coming.
Yeah.
Mostly about the fuel meter though.
Yeah. I thought the boat was on fire, but it was just the lighting. But
Somewhat,
we
kid.
just started.
The boat.
Maybe it was fire. Maybe the boat just shot out every bit of fuel it had.
We need a bad boat.
I need the salamander to leave me alone. Because that's what it is. I figured it out. This is Kimmerold's cousin, Delago.
Oh no. He's a big lump.
I love him so much. Uh-oh.
Excuse me, you gotta call him Delago. You can't go back on that. Just because it's a stupid name doesn't mean you can go back on it. His name isn't Lake Monster.
Oh, I can control it. Okay. But where he?
Oh,
That happened so much faster than I thought it was going to.
You.
Yeah.
That might be a problem. We can't use herbs on the boat.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this for the hardcore run.
Yeah. Where he? 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 Where he?
Maybe he went away.
There he. Look him. Leon, you're
Beautiful.
very bad at throwing.
Follow me whole, huh?
Ah! I can see you?
I think they'll call El Gigante like Il Grande or something that's like more grammatically correct. I'll be mad if they do.
I mean, I hope not. I don't think they would. Idiot.
Well, they didn't call him Del Lago.
Yeah, but at least they didn't, like, change the Spanish. It's just
Yes.
Lake Monster. Which, like, is not incorrect. Ah! 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 Stop taking me where all of the fucking trees are, bud! Also, he looks like Kimmerald's cousin, cause he is! Leon, we gotta talk about your throw. It is either way too strong or way too weak. You have no in-between. Where he?
Do you have to charge it up? I see what's going on.
Where'd you go?
Ah! It's fine. It's fine. I don't think you have to charge it. He's just... Leon just does what he wants.
That's fair.
Tough son of a bitch.
It's like...
Leon is as Leon does.
It's true.
I think he's like aiming a bit as you hold it out. He's like building up power.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, because if it's straighter the longer you.
Yeah. Alright, bud, what are we doing? Please. Please.
Leon, that was barely a throw.
Oh, jeez.
Oof.
Yeah, I could've done better with that. Oh, it's fine, actually.
Hey.
Probably. Looky! I love him!
It's just a big dumb lumpus.
My one weakness. Lumpuses.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he
He
didn't
spends
deserve
most of his
that.
day like just lying on a
Oh.
beach, just in some like damp silt, just chilling in the sun.
Just wants to eat and hang. Oh, this is a bad place to take a nap, Leon. Hey, Leon, I don't think we should sleep here. Well, hey, we did the thing.
We did the thing with the guy.
We did the thing with the guy. It happened, and we did it.
He was
Sacrificial
Latch.
lamb, you will receive our most sacred body.
Meat
It
stick.
begins now. When day breaks, you two will join our
Tent
covenant
staff.
to share.
Is he? Okay, no, his arm is arm. The staff is just tense. Understood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his
Ah.
arms is also tense.
His arms, and his arms is tense.
Oh, Leon, buddy. Hey, bud, how you feeling? Oh, our boat is taking on some water. We should not.
Need a bucket.
We gotta go.
Oh, his ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bad boat. Oh, buddy.
Condor one to roost.
We're
You
still
read me?
doing it.
Condor one? You've been radio silent for 3 hours. Are you all right?
Finally getting back up.
Fine. Won't let it happen again.
And the church?
I'm still looking for whatever key I need.
Copy that. I'm glad you're okay. Roost out.
All right. Chapter 4. And grenade. Not quite.
one day. Nah, he doesn't need that anymore. His head's gone. He's got nowhere to
Decaffeinated.
wear it.
We'll just put that down. Wait. No. Okay. Alright. That's fine. This is fine. Where am I? Okay, I understand. To an extent. We're on the other side of the lake. Hello? Seems like a nice place here.
Yeah. Oh, they're chanting. They're doing the bad chanting over there.
They're doing the chanting.
Oh, this is cool. That's the doing the chanting.
Suddenly a little more weary of being here.
It's fine. I
Woohoo!
think we got Pedro's on this side of the lake.
Probably. We could probably sell all of our first aid sprays.
We
I know
could.
we just have the one, but
Yeah, we
we've
sold
been,
two.
We've been doing so good as far as like our herbs are concerned.
Yeah.
That's a Pedro.
It's
That's
Don
a
Pedro.
Pedro. Ah!
Cash Don Pedro's here. Watch out. This gun seems pretty ass.
You have to leave me alone. You have to leave me alone.
Can he duck? Can he crouch? Okay.
No, but I
He
also
found his
can't
one weakness.
aim.
Ah. This is an issue.
This is a problem. I have caused a problem for myself.
Leon, you're doing it wrong.
Okay. Well, let's. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have any flashbangs, do I?
No.
That's fine. Hey, bolt gun? Kinda shit.
Sorry.
Well, I didn't
You've
need
done
to throw
doing enough
that
damage
one.
to deal with the
Yeah.
Pedro.
It's not what I meant to do.
You did get 2 of the bolts back, and I think you only shot 3 in him. I didn't think you'd get like 100% of the bolts back, so that's not bad.
Fuck off!
Ooh. Yeah, they don't have that much health though. I'm kind of disappointed in the grenade and also the bow gun for the. Plus the bow gun didn't even flinch. The pistol made him flinch.
Yeah. I think we're gonna sell the bolt gun and get the TMP instead. Oh hey, is this the place that we saw at the beginning? At the very start of the game? Where they decaffeinated the person?
Person was having a bad day.
Yeah. Sucked for them. Ooh. That's where we came from. Right. Still don't have any flashbangs. Let me put that there. No, Leon, turn that back on.
If it's just like a Pedro, it's fine. It's just if like there's a lot going on and then a Pedro shows up, the flashbangs are really handy.
Mm-hmm. No,
I've
as
seen
soon
the
as-
original. I don't know if they'll work in this.
That's what I wanted to try, like with the one.
Yeah.
Shrine.
You do get a lot less grenades. Well, certainly flashbangs in this.
You can make them. is the
Sin
thing.
mark from the church.
Yeah, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
You have to buy the recipe, and then you have to get the gubbins, and you could be building rifle ammo with those gubbins.
But also might be worth it depending
the lake.
on. Look at
It's
that
probably worth
Loomis.
everyone around. They do seem very good.
Are we trying to get to Skull, Leon? Is that... Is that the plan right now?
Gotta find Skull.
What are you? Ooh!
Is that the one for the chests in the weird little thingies?
Yeah! Yeah!
I saw the end of the key were weird.
Mm-hmm. Little chicken egg.
Gold egg.
What will I do with it? Well, sometimes it's more fun not knowing. Well, now you have to tell me. You can't not tell me.
Make a golden omelet.
Ooh, delicious.
I think the gold egg is in the original. It's very rare, but it's a full heal.
Mm-hmm.
And in Resident Evil 5, they added a bad egg, which is an instant kill on any enemy. Which is kind of funny. I approve. I approve this one change that they made between 4 and 5.
Thus.
You run over the things and he just picked them up.
Whee! Yeah, I was slowing down to make sure I could get it. But he just said, "No, I got you." Like, thanks, Leon. Appreciate it. Where do I pull over to get here? Just gonna ram my boat into the wall. Don't mind me. Also, no gas gauge, so that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm very happy about that.
I feel like it would have been, like, too rude for them to have done that.
Yeah.
No.
I knew it.
Sure you did, Leon. Ooh. I think you got a crit on him.
I think so. No! Sir! I was hitting the big button. Hello? That's a dynamite boy.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Okay, very cool. Oh. So we still have the Wiggle Man. So
Bent neck men.
Bent Neck Man. But we also have Pedro to deal with.
Fuck! They are all fairly wiggly. Is the
Yeah, that's
thing.
true. They're all Wiggle Man. They've been wiggling the whole time.
Fuck off, dude. I do like how they look.
Yeah.
Like that.
I'm
Give me
glad he's
that.
still around. Oh, you did get a flash grenade.
Yeah.
Science can be conducted. Unless we want to save it for the bit with Luis and the house.
Oh, right. Well, we've
We
still
do
got.
not know what it's gonna look like.
We still have a bit of a ways
Yeah, we do.
before that, right? Because we still have to pick up Ashley.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So testing it out now would be good, because I am certain we will get a number of Pedros there.
You'd assume it'd work. It'd be weird if it didn't, but we do have to check and just make sure before we
Mhm.
need it.
Cool, shortcut. listen. Couldn't be bothered. Sir. Leon, please. Ouch! Ouch!
Oh, double headshot.
Are you gonna
Dang.
become a Pedro?
He's. Oh, is that what we're testing?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So sometimes they'll do that and then become Pedro, and sometimes they won't. Sometimes they're just straight in.
Still works. You love to see it.
You do?
Again, it was assumed that it would, but had I just been operating under that assumption the entire time, it wouldn't have worked. Oh, there was a thing I could have shot. Okay. So I like having the confirmation. Glad it
I think
worked.
in Resi 4, there's like a note that says something about them like being that certain like frequencies of light are really bad for the plagas or something. But it never like makes the connection between that note and the gameplay. Like, you have to make that leap yourself.
I kind of like that though. Also,
Yeah.
hi stars. How's it going, friend?
That's a good cat booty.
It is a good cat booty. Look at that cat go. Look at those cats go! Speaking of, how was the rest of your cattails stream? That is a velvet blue, I think, is what I just saw.
Nice.
I'll have to go back down there to get it. Oh, hi, 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 ow, hi!
So,
And big button. Nope, fuck.
yeah, that's Pedro.
Ouch!
I think you gotta hit the eye for a chance of a critical, like the little eyes, which is kind of cool. You can still get the critical hits, but it's a harder shot than just shooting a man in the head.
Get out of here. Demon cat. New best friend? New best friend, Demon cat? But yeah, I'm glad your stream went well. Aim for Pedro eyes. Understood. Sorry.
It seems like it. I don't know.
I mean, I'd believe it. What's that? What's that?
I think you have to in the original, but the eyes are a bit bigger, but also like stand out less. So I just kind of aim for the mass.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. Let's go back to Merchant Friend just real quick. Hi, pal.
I think he's right by where El Gigante is, right?
More or less.
Yeah. That's where I thought we were.
Got some new welcome. I've got something new for you.
It's been. Oh wait, no, that's for a case color. Okay.
What's that? How
You
have
want
we
me to-
procured these curiosities?
So much stuff.
Want to know, mate?
This, you need the thingies to get the stock for the TMP in this.
Valuables won't do you much good in
Yeah.
the grave.
Yeah.
Well, we're thinking about. Yeah,
We're not
saying
thinking
goodbye
about-
to Bolt Thrower.
We are saying goodbye to Bolt Thrower. Get out of here.
Sorry, Bolt Thrower. We don't have the space in your very ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
you cut through the crowd with that right there.
It might be fun to mess around with in a different. Also, not the attachable mines.
Well, it's too late now for
Right?
attachable mines.
What you see is what I've got.
20,000.
Anything
I did
don't
want to
get you-
check. Oops, wrong one.
Self-killed now.
It's sad 'cause I don't know, like, when you'd,
Welcome.
have the stuff to craft a thing and make a flashbang instead of the
I'll buy
bullets for
almost
one of the guns,
anything.
but
Oh, actually, I want to keep that.
it's not that expensive. Bolt throw only run away.
A deal well struck.
When I am sleep deprived enough to think that that's a good idea.
A well-tuned weapon can make up for a lack of skill, friend.
Excuse you?
This kind of work is about finesse, stranger. Little bit goes a long way.
Listen. Yeah, there's not really anything else that I can sell at the moment. That's fine. Ooh. Ooh, we are. I'm gonna eat one. We're
Kayshurrr on
doing.
full health.
I wasn't on full health. I was very
you?
nearly
Okay.
on full health, but I was not on full health. Also.
Don't believe you've done this.
let's-
Suboptimal cache. Consider.
No. No. It clears up some of my inventory space, though.
Ooh, you can make a fair bit of TMP ammo and it does stack high.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit worried about how bad the recoil might be without the stock, though.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be the thing that we go for next once we do a couple more tests,
Welcome.
which...
But
How
it
much was
depends.
it?
If the TMP's crap, we might just stick with the rifle.
That's true. Well, let's register it to where my shotgun is, because if I don't, then I will forget to use it. But let's carry on. We can wander around the lake a little bit, which I think is worth it.
Yeah, it seems like it.
But before we go back out to the lake, there's more this way.
Is
Anything
this
over here?
Skull? Are we going to Skull?
No, Skull's on the other side of the lake.
Okay.
Can we turn? Maybe? This boat is actual garbage. Ooh, there's a thing here.
Look, at least we got all the water out of it.
This for now.
Yeah.
This is where. This is where.
Big square rock.
Big square rock, and also to find out what's in here.
Ooh.
It has 4 slots. Splendid Bangle does now. And what are you? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, only 2.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll wait to do that one because I want 2 of one color.
Yeah, ideally. It's only slightly more, but it is more.
But it's more. That's
Yeah.
still more. Slight as it may be. Still
Yeah.
technically more. Oh, what's under here? Thought you could hide the pesetas from me. You
There's
fool!
like a. I'm not sure we should. We did show it last time. There's like a whole bit in the menu where it tells you the poker hands of gems you can use
Yeah.
to get the best bonuses.
Which, like, I'm gonna... If I can get a good bonus, or even just a slightly better bonus, I'm gonna do that. Duh.
And like, I feel like the square ones are rare enough that we don't want to.
Waste them.
We don't want to just throw them away.
Yeah. There is merchant. Okay. Which I don't really need to sell anything at the moment. Can't really
Yeah, we saw
buy
it just a
anything
minute
either.
ago.
Yeah. That's where we just were. This is where we came from.
What happened to fish?
Lunker.
bass.
How much? That's.
Hey,
Holy
it's big,
shit.
slightly bigger than the TMP.
Okay, I just wanted to do some silly fish science.
You just wanted to do some fishing.
No.
Just a little fishing.
No. It lunks. It's true. He lunk.
Not anymore.
He lunked.
He lunked once.
Never again. I know I said I wasn't going to go visit the merchant again, but I lied. Is the
Well,
thing.
you do have a lot of lunk in the inventory now, so it makes sense.
It's too much lunk, and this way we can see if getting any of the fish is worth it. He was just such a big boy, you know?
What can I interest
Yeah.
you in?
5,000, and it's for a quest apparently.
Your
Ooh, nice.
valuables won't do you much good in the grave. Perfect. You're a real professional.
Ooh, that were 4
Well
spinels and $5,000. That wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. Getting there.
Will that be all then?
I mean, since we're here.
Your weapons are in good hands, mate. I'll see you right.
I want to, but I don't necessarily want to commit to putting in more stuff. I know I already did reload speed. Okay, I already did it.
See
Let's do
how
it.
that fee come back anytime.
I'll just talk myself into it.
If we sell the TMP, we'll get most of the stuff back.
This is not where I left my boat.
It's not too wasteful.
Yeah. Oof.
Unless we commit to the stock, because then we're using spinels on it as well.
Yeah. I mean, the plan is to buy the stock. At least for now. That is because I am assuming that we will be using the TMP.
It does kind of need the stock in the first one, but you can just buy the stock when you get it. So you'd hope the base TMP is a little bit better in this, but
One would hope.
I can see it going both ways, because, like, with
Is that
how...
also a lunk?
Lunk.
Are you also a lunk?
I thought
I also,
big fish
yeah.
was coming.
Yep, same. Same. No, that's just a black bass. Don't care.
I feel like either the TMP is gonna just be really good for crowd control, just like with how fast the enemies are coming at you, it'll just like stun everyone real good. Or it's not gonna do enough damage to do anything.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna act like you're not even shooting them when you are.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a lot of barrels over there. Where am I? That's where we're heading, right?
That's where Skull lives.
Yeah. But there's treasure everywhere in here. And there's lots of treasure in there. My god, this map is huge. I mean, in the original there were like a lot of locations. It makes sense, but it's just being able to see it all connected is a lot.
Yeah, there's a little bit backtracking in the original, but it's very much like, this is the level, go to the end of the level.
Yeah.
Just sometimes you recognize bits of the level.
I really appreciate the fact that there is like backtracking allowed.
I wonder if you'll be able to, surely once you go to the castle, like, you can't go back to the village. You think, right?
Lunk.
We're
You
looking
think?
over here.
No, that's just a bass. Chimkins! Hey chickens, do you have a golden egg? Or just a million eggs in general?
Give me an egg.
Chicken. Egg. Hello, chickens. I am non-threatening. Gawk, I say, as I am one of you, fellow chickens.
I don't think they've seen yet. They have no idea anything's going on.
I'll be taking
It's
this.
Is the gold chicken egg a treasure in this one?
It might be. Can be used to restore a large amount of health.
Is the treasure marker gone from the map around the chicken area?
Mm-mm.
No, okay.
Guess I can
So
stop
the
moving around.
egg wasn't it. Good to know.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Just
a
a
velvet
velvet
blue.
blue. Thank you for... So this is just Egg Island. Is the thing.
Seems like it.
This is just where we go to stock up on eggs.
We need to egg up. We go here.
Hey, chicken, you can't.
Chicken,
No?
come with me on my boat and lay me some more eggs while I drive.
He did just try to jump into the boat. Oh, I love you, chicken. Okay. This is where we want to go? No. We want to go north. I want to, what is this? Church key? Did I miss it?
I'm
Don't die.
confused.
I'm also confused. Ooh, there's locked drawers there.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, navigating on this map is
We know
horrible.
we'll almost certainly have to go back because we've been past El Gigante's boss arena, so like, I don't worry too much about going forward right now.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud. We can go back wherever if you want.
No. I like your thinking. I'm mostly just focusing on grabbing all the treasure that is here since we are already here.
Yeah.
And we want all the thing. More Alexandrite. Could put 2 Alexandrites in the bangle.
We could. That's probably worth a lot.
We'll... I think in general, we'll probably wait to put stones in treasures until we're getting ready to sell them.
That seems fair.
Oops, wrong one.
I think
Another
we can
treasure
take
there.
him back out and change him freely, but like, it's not worth
what if-
messing around with right now when we might have better gems later.
Right?
And we don't have to make the decision until we're selling them.
Yeah. Why? What did I miss? Leon. Oh, it's out front. I see. Sneaky. Oh.
That's just the red 9 in a box? Huh. It has an ammo capacity of 5, can't help but notice.
Yeah.
Unless it's not fully loaded.
No, it's not. 8.
Okay, well, that's slightly better.
I want to see the stats. Examine?
Okay. 1.5 power right off the bat is no to turn your nose up at. It does, I can't say for like this game, but like the red 9's the one most people go with in the original because it just does a shit ton of damage. Like the fully upgraded red 9, there's nothing it won't work on. Like there's nothing that's got too much health for it.
Yeah.
I think it's all of its stats are worse except precision and damage.
Wait, worse or better?
The power and the precision's better, and everything else is
Yeah.
fairly significantly worse.
Yeah.
That reload speed could be a problem.
Yup. Can I send to
It does have a stock as well as having like high precision. We should probably send it to the storage for now. We don't need 2 pistols floating up the inventory.
Oh my god, hold on. Sorry, I just realized how many eggs I have.
You got a couple eggs. Got 1 or 2 eggs.
Ammo City. We're gonna sell that one, so I'm putting it there for now. So I don't accidentally eat it with the other eggs.
Makes sense. I didn't use the red 9 in my run, but that's because like all the pistols are viable. People just don't realize it. But like, there's nothing wrong with the red 9. It extremely does what it says it does.
I kind of want to go to the settlement. I don't want to take a detour.
Nice.
Store egg. So true, bestie. Okay. Let's make sure we have a weapon out.
Also, just for chat, you cannot get the red 9 anywhere for free in the original. You have to buy it. The only guns you can get for free are the shotgun and the broken butterfly.
There we go.
It's really good when it gets the headshot.
Yeah.
It's just such a beefy rifle.
I love it. I would, like, exclusively use my rifle and my shotgun if I could realistically get enough ammo for both. Like, to, like, consistently have. But that is not the case. What is happening here? Ghost trees? It's ghost trees.
Oh. Huh. Just ghost trees.
Alright. Ooh! Smoky! What we got?
Gold bar? Can't be bad.
Small chunk of gold for 10,000! Okay!
10,000 for no work on your part. Don't have to do nothing with it.
Wait a minute.
You been here?
Is this where? This is where we started the game.
Oh, this is the Hunter's Lodge.
Yeah, because here's
Ah, shame we don't have the Hunter's Lodge key anymore. We could probably unlock all the tricks and can unlock the secret bazooka that's in there. I don't know.
We do have some treasures here. We got a way shrine. We got a treasure. A door with insignia.
I don't think any of that is locked by Hunter's Lodge key.
Here's hoping. Hold on. Can I go down?
Oh, I know. This is where we found Lewis. I think.
Old Man's Journal! 3 years ago, my beloved daughter passed away shortly after giving birth to a son. Since then, the boy has grown considerably. He is a very curious child and has a true thirst for knowledge. He even tries to follow me after I go out hunting. Can't take my eyes off him for a second. It's Lewis. We're talking about Lewis. Whenever we walk in the forest, he always asks me to tell stories. He's very fond of Don Quixote. Although he's still small, the boy's smart and observant beyond his years. If he weren't stuck here, he might have become a scholar. Or maybe it's not. I was a careless fool. I could have sworn I shot clean through the wolf's head, and yet it lunged at me. I was able to make it back to the cabin, but my wound is swollen and discolored. I cannot bear seeing the boy's worried eyes. My body moves on its own, and I can hear voices inside my head. Am I going mad? I can't die now and leave the boy behind. Dear God, please, protect him. Oh.
That sounds not good.
That sounds not good! There are noises down here. I would like to not be in this hole anymore. Thank you!
Just the underground winds.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah. It's just the earth breathing.
Good God. I am scared. Open up.
Oh, dang boxes everywhere, and we can open all of them.
Ooh. We are getting paid today.
Yeah.
And there's a thing over here. Right. Can I use this key? Hell yeah! What's in here? We'll come back. Okay, I guess we go back now. Hey, you good? Please don't jump at me. Please don't jump at me.
What the hell is going on here?
Inky.
They've got the symbol on them.
Yeah.
Ah, if they're gonna move, they're not doing it right now.
Wait, whoa, go down a second. What's this? Ow. Ow.
Brits of gunpowder.
Well, not too mad about it, because now we get more TMP ammo.
TMP ammo does stack real good.
Mm-hmm. Oh!
Oh. That's all of the person at the start was on. They're still on it.
Yeah!
So these are probably the two outsiders who came to the village.
Yeah! Made it so that they didn't have to draw lots anymore. Huh! Ooh, small key. Great,
Lovely.
I replaced the one that I used.
Yeah.
Okay, is that all that was here? Herb lives there for right now.
At least we know what happened to him. It's bad stuff. Bad
It's
stuff
bad.
happened.
They did not have a good time. Okay, cool. Great. Whee! What a fun detour.
Yeah. At least we got a small key.
It's true.
Fucking dogs.
Ah! Go back in, Leon! Ah! There's two of them.
Oh, it's a beefy sound. Fall down, man. That guy's tough.
Yeah, I'm scared that he's a Pedro. Where? Okay, I like the TMP so far. However,
I like the noise it makes. I don't know if it's any good.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, he was a Pedro, by the way.
yeah,
He was a twisty son of a bitch.
Oh, I'm scared.
That's
Oh,
too
I'm
many
scared.
things.
Hey, Leon, we gotta hide in here for a minute. I don't feel great about cheesing
Might be
this, but
time
also
for the
I'm scared.
TMP to shine. Just
No,
take them
what?
all out. Oh.
Okay, all right. No, sir, you have to back up.
Oh.
Where did dog go? Ah! 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 Reload!
That is he's eating ammo. It seems alright, but he goes through the ammo quick. Good God, those dogs are bad.
I don't like them. Ah. Okay, it's fine. We're fine. Everything
Mostly
is
only
fine.
have rifle left.
Yeah.
So maybe we can convince them to stand very still for a minute. Haha, fuck you, dog.
Dog, don't come back. Dog, where you go?
Oh God, there's no ramp for him.
Dog.
We know the horrible dogs still exist. They tough, but probably easier to avoid from that brief encounter. Like, they definitely have more health than they used to.
Hear it.
Oh, they make bad noises.
Yeah, they do. Is that alright? Okay, yeah, he's dead. Oh, I hated that.
Bad dogs.
Ugh.
Nasty dogs.
Horrible
Gnashing
dogs.
beasts.
What's mashing? Okay. I hate it on this little detour, and I would like to leave. Thanks. That was horrible. We're gonna go back to the merchant just dead quick.
Makes sense.
This is kind of a longer detour, but that's fine.
The TMP's damage output's good, and it does stun things pretty good. It just, the ammo is just gone.
Yeah.
As soon as you start firing.
I think we'll still stick with it.
It seems decent. It just, you know, we had like a billion bullets for it, and I thought we had a billion bullets for it. We actually didn't have that many.
Yeah.
Like, when you start firing it, you should probably expect to fire 30 shots.
Mm-hmm. I think I stopped at the wrong place.
And
It'll
if we upgrade the
definitely-
capacity to 40, you should probably expect to fire 40 shots.
Yeah. I think it'll be good for, like, crowd control situations.
Yeah.
If we get too surrounded by things and don't necessarily... This is also not right. Where was my brain? And I don't have any, like, flashbangs or anything like that. We'll...
Yeah.
Oh, did I just... I just went into the wrong place altogether. Okay. I thought that led closer to the merchants. But... apparently not. That's fine.
The spread on the TMP was really high as well. It's, like, good enough to hit people at, like, fairly close range. It's not good enough to, like, aim for weak points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of the reason the TMP is so good in the original is when you put the stock on it, you can, like, really cheaply just take out all the heads and knees. But then it's also really good against like single targets that don't move around much, because you can just keep hitting the same spot.
Yeah.
Which this one probably does really good on too.
Almost anything.
Oh, we could see about that splendid bangle now.
True. Yeah. Okay.
That is an expensive egg.
I mean,
It is gold.
it's gold. It's a gold egg. And also we'll get things for it.
Yeah, spinels.
This is what I'm talking
Shit!
about.
Okay.
Fine work.
What?
Well done.
I was
You've
gonna
proven
freak out
yourself
if he didn't
right.
give that to me for a minute.
Anything else I can help you with?
I am a one short.
There's some things money.
Listen here, sir.
This is deeply tragic.
Your valuables won't do
put that
you
there real
much good in
fast.
the grave.
How many more snakes do we have to get for you to give us another spinel?
How many more dying friends do you have? Hey, buddy.
We'll snack him up good.
Oh my god. Okay. My ammo situation is very tragic.
Not looking great.
But I do like how much space we have in our inventory right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do a tune-up. I am gonna increase.
Molding a weapon to suit your specific needs. It's a thing
Ooh,
of
maxed
taste,
out
ain't it?
Punisher is not as powerful as default Red 9.
Yeah.
We could
Will that
put the
come
Punisher
back
away for a bit and
anytime?
try the Red 9 out. I'm just really worried about that reload speed.
Yeah.
Is the only thing.
No, same. But we
Well,
I am
can-
like the fact that it's like precision is significantly better than
Your weapons are in good hands, mate.
than the old
I'll
one.
see you right.
That
Mhm.
seems exciting.
See how that feels, mate. Fella like yourself should notice the difference right away.
Gonna go slightly
This
ham
kind
on
of
this.
work is about finesse,
Oh.
stranger. Little bit goes a long
And
way.
then
You see.
you want to.
A well-tuned weapon can make up
Expensive.
for a lack of as
Unbelievable.
good as new.
Love it. I'm here for it. Right, I was saving up for the attaché case, and then I forgot because I got very excited about literally everything else. Right, we were gonna look at the Bengal.
We were thinking about it. I was thinking about it. I don't know if you were thinking about it.
Kind of. It went from 4,000 to
Yeah.
19.
Yourself killed
Let's
well.
fucking
Pretty
go.
dang good for 2 gems.
All right, and guess what? We can get our case.
A decent size,
Hey,
but
we're gonna have so much
Um,
space.
So much thing space. I am gonna sell the first aid spray.
That's fine.
We have so many chicken eggs, and we have we've done very, very good as far as our herbs are concerned. We're a little low right now, but that's just because we had the yellow ones, and I got a touch greedy there.
Just wanted to eat all the yellow herbs, so the boy would be
true.
big and strong.
It's true. Look, he needs it, okay?
He's already big and strong.
Yeah, but he could be bigger and stronger.
Like El Gigante.
I was
Did he eat
thinking
a lot
like
of
Chris
yellow herbs?
Redfield, but yeah,
Okay.
like El Gigante. Just like El Gigante. Okay. I'm feeling good about this.
I do feel like if you had infinite free time, you could just fish until you got infinite money here.
Right? I am concerned about this church key situation.
We'll be fine. Oh, there is like more map over where we're going. I
Yeah.
did just notice, like, it seems to continue in like a, like we can see the treasures, but we can't see the, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to backtrack now would be a good time.
Kinda wanna.
Yeah, go for it.
Get in there!
I still think we'll come back here. I'm just worried it might be a while.
Yeah. Well, and it's like we need the church key to get Ashley, right? Which, like, I'm not necessarily looking forward to.
We have gone real far without meeting Ashley.
Yeah. We gotta
Let's
find
talk for a
Baby
minute.
Eagle.
Where's Baby Eagle? This is Condor 1. Where's Baby Eagle?
I gotta find Baby Eagle.
Bruce, it's Condor 1. I've looked everywhere. Can't see any Baby Eagle.
Are we sure our intel was correct? I don't know the Baby Eagle's here. Bruce? Condor won out.
Also, if we're doing the silly army code name, I think he should be
Is this
Condor
the
Actual instead of. Oh, is that where the
Okay.
church key is and we need to get
Yes.
out? I understand.
Okay. I also understand better now.
This makes
Okay.
sense.
That was like, because I was like, we definitely passed there, and I definitely
Yeah.
like looked at things there. But you know what? It would not be the first time, and it will not be the last time that I've looked directly at the thing that I needed it and then just moved on. So I'm glad I went back and looked. I feel better about that now.
To be
Let's-
fair, I didn't like twig that that was where the church key was and that we needed to come back there to get the church key.
Yeah.
I just was like, whoa, weird stone hands. Say some dumb jokes about fish.
My favorite. Yeah, no, I assumed that the stone dais was just like an extra thing, honestly, but nah, I gotta do that. We need
That's
to
fair.
do that to release the key.
You know what we're aiming for now?
Yeah. Zoom. Whee!
We'll have to check how far into the game we met Ashley on the original. I think it was the first stream we didn't see her,
Yeah.
but then the second stream we definitely did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 3 hours in around?
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot of extra stuff to do in this one as far as like optional things are concerned. What is this?
Yeah, that's-
Are those snakes? What is this? What are these symbols? What do they mean?
Is this like a...
It's locked.
I can still shoot the thing. Is this what?
I wasn't sure if it was like a perspective puzzle, but if it is, I don't think we have like the solution. You know, like if we see the painted bits on the wall and then we put another wall in front of it,
Yeah.
that has the rest of the pattern on. But I don't think we don't have like a way to enter it if that's the case.
No. Oh.
Oh, it's this puzzle
Okay, so we
from the church. They just moved it.
Yeah, this is the one that I thought we were gonna have at the church. And... Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got a 3 with a line through it. We got
Got
the
3 wigglers.
snacks.
And there was like a D upstairs.
You're a D upstairs.
Sometimes.
A B.
Okay, fine. If we're gonna be like that,
And then it is kind
that's
of a
the
perspective
perspective one, right?
And then like the 3 fishes kissing. Mwah. Mwah.
Oh.
Smooch. 3 kissing fishes, 3 with a line, a bee, and 3 wigglers.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Got the kissy, the snacks, the 3 with the line in it.
Oh,
Okay.
that'll do.
Oh, who's this goblin?
Why, you goblin? Why are you so sad? Oh, that's the blasphemer's head.
Ucky.
We did obtain the blasphemer's head.
Those. Ooh, handgun ammo. Thank God.
Nice.
And a hexagon piece. Oh, the head goes in the hands.
Yeah.
Ruby.
And the hexagon goes with the hexagons.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Great. Fantastic. We should probably go to the hexagons.
Makes sense? They're not far away.
They're over
If I
here.
remember right, which I probably don't.
No, you remember right, because
Hey.
it's over here where the boy
Yeah.
is. Whee! Okay. Put that there. Oh, I need another one?
Can we touch the ones that are already in there? Because I think
No.
top left is wrong.
No, I have to put a
Ah.
thing in.
I'm probably wrong then. I should have trusted top left.
Never trust top left. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's for the thing that we were just looking at. Do I need to go? I need to get something here.
Don't remember what mural was, but
That's
that's the location for. Oh, right, yeah.
that's where the skulls were shown. Okay. So basically, I just ignored everything that it told me to do to go do my own thing because I thought I knew better.
I think we just ignored all the severed heads and
Yeah.
instead found eggs and fish.
Listen, if I can find eggs and fish,
I would rather have eggs and fish than severed heads.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Personally.
Oops, wrong button. Ooh, actually,
Oh, space.
I forgot. I forgot that we upgraded it. Therefore, we have some room. So you're gonna go there. No.
Are we committed to Red 9 over Punisher for now?
No, because we haven't
Did-
had a chance to try.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hmm.
We can put it here for the time being.
I hate that a merchant friend does not fill the gun up when he upgrades the capacity. It's horrible. Enjoy
Enjoy
coffee
your
and snack stars.
Yeah! Thanks for the lurk, friend. Okay. I am going to put this where my handgun is at the moment. I'm gonna swap. No. I'm gonna swap that out because I do use the shotgun more than the TMP, and we've agreed that TMP is
Yeah.
mostly for bad situations. Okay. All the way at the end. Understood. I was gonna say
Shotgun's also for kind of bad situations, but it's just very reliable.
it's better for like the situations where there's like 3 or 4 guys in the way. I think TMP will be great for many things of different sizes and different attack levels. Right. Okay. Okay. So
That's an egg and a claw. I don't
egg
know.
claw.
Egg
Oh my god, I'm an idiot. It's right here. It's literally right here. Okay.
It's fine.
We just missed it. That's the Chanel symbol. I guess, probably. I don't know. I don't know luxury brands.
I don't know, luxury brands either. I'll believe you though.
And then
I reckon we're missing the middle bit of that.
You think?
It looks like it, doesn't it? I might be wrong.
Well, it's like it's 2 moons. It's back tonight, I guess.
Oh no, yeah, it's right there. That's
And then we got egg, and oh god, which one is it? It's this one.
bomb one, yeah.
And then the 2 C's, right? Shit.
I forgot what this one looked like. It's fine. I thought, yeah, did we see this? It might be. It's the one above what you've got selected. I think it just looks. They didn't do a great job of drawing it. I think.
Yeah, you're right. I can see it. I understand.
Just one of the mounds is a bit bigger than the other mound.
So heckin' angry. It's the apostate's head. Why are they so
Nice.
gunky? My head's gunk.
My dad's gunk.
Oh, jeez. Okay, let's... Oh, no.
Pretty sure statues are supposed to. Ooh, that does not seem more accurate, in fact, than the other gun, even though the start I thought was accuracy was better.
Oh, but it does hit real hard.
And it's beefy.
Stop throwing shit at me!
My metric for beefy is how big it sounds when you shoot it, not how much damage it actually does.
No, that's fair.
That reload's not that bad.
Nah.
I mean, you have fully upgraded it now, but...
So are you
Get the
supposed to be on
stock for it,
fire?
and we'll be laughing. Is the, like, accuracy good, but the aiming speed is bad?
Yeah.
Or is the accuracy just worse?
No, the accuracy is more or less fine. It's not
Yeah.
it's not any worse than the Punisher was.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. When I shot the Punisher, it felt very light. There wasn't that nice bang.
Yeah.
But
Didn't have enough beef?
not enough beef. That gun needed more beef. And I put my hands on the wrong keys. I scooted them over by one, which is a problem. Please, turn. 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 Oh, I know you can do it. Oof, alright. Let's go. Put some stuff in a hand. This is the left hand, technically, right? So
Yeah, that's left hand. Sorry, I had to go by where the thumbs were.
yeah, no, that's what I was doing as well. I don't know if that actually mattered or not, but
That
I
seems
assume-
right.
I assumed
Under
they
one
wanted the
roof.
blasphemer's head
Found
in
key to
the
the
left
church.
hand, and
Copy that. Now go
No.
get Baby Eagle.
Right.
oh, I'm gonna go get
Time to
Baby
check.
Eagle.
I'm going in. Condor 1 out.
Church, 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 church.
do like his silly call sign.
Same.
Do kind of miss him just going, oh hey, it's Leon.
Come
Leon's
again,
here.
it's Leon.
I don't know if you're expecting a call on again, but it's Leon again.
Gotta go get baby eagle. No yawns. Listen, I'm very cozy right now. Bundled up in the hoodie and a blanket. And I got my toasty little slippers on. I'm sitting in the dark playing a real neat video game with my friend. It's a good time.
Kind of wandering around fishing, looking for treasure.
No fishing.
You did a little. There was a little bit of fishing.
No.
We can check the tips if you'd like. I'm pretty sure I saw some fishing.
No, I think you're lying.
Just a touch of fishing.
Molding a weapon to suit your specific needs. Oh, it's a thing of beauty, isn't it? See how that feels, mate. Fella like yourself should notice the difference right away.
Nothing.
Well, that bit might want to take care
Also,
of any
it's been like
leftover errands.
the entire stream since I have saved. We'll just do that dead quick.
Going this way. To live the rest.
Church. Where is church? What's that? Wait, what's that down there? Did I miss
Did
a
just
treasure?
kind of give you a warning of like a point of no return, by the way.
Yeah.
So you might want to finish your errand, stranger.
Yeah. Yeah, he right.
I just wasn't sure if you'd noticed. So.
I had it. So
thought you were
thank
thinking
you.
about stuff.
My mind was on treasure. His warning fell on deaf ears.
It's my fault. I said treasure, and then you were thinking about treasure.
Don't get yourself.
I mean, we have really done most of what's over here, right?
Oh yeah, did we check out the skull place?
Yeah, I think the cave statue or the cave shrine was where it was, and I think this is all castle stuff, honestly.
Yeah, that is the direction the castle's in, and I was kind of wondering. And we do probably have to go back through the quarry, because that's where El Gigante tends to hang out.
There's another medallion there. Shit.
There's one in the fish farm and one in the quarry. We definitely go back to the quarry. So, if we cross off the fish farm one, we'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I gotta go back to the fish farm. That's just them's the rules.
Only for a little while.
Just a very quick detour. I want the stock for the TMP is the thing, especially if we're gonna be, I mean, let's be real, the El Gigante fight is going to be happening here very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And while not crowd control, technically, I keep hitting the wrong button for my menu. It's directly in front of me.
It does deal a lot of damage if, like, all the bullets are hitting. And if he's, you know,
He's a
El
large-
Gigante thing about him, he's kind of big. So it's kind of easy to land the shots.
Kind of a big boy.
If you shoot in a lot of different places, you still hit El Gigante.
Yeah.
Because he takes up a lot of different space.
Large lad.
That definitely aims in slower.
Yeah.
I think
But that's...
Yeah.
But that's okay. Because it takes me forever to also aim in, and so...
I think it's fairly inaccurate if Leon's moving, though.
Yeah.
I think you do kind of want to plant your feet for the red 9.
Yeah. Which, like, to be fair, I am doing most of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
I do keep forgetting that I can move
I
and
think-
shoot.
You get away with it a bit more with the Punisher and the default pistol, though. They don't bloom up quite as big. I think you'd
Yeah.
still hit the guy if there were a guy coming at you and you tried to shoot him, but like you probably won't be aiming for weak points. You'd just be aiming for the guy in general.
thing we came back here. Because there is a
Ooh.
hexagon piece. Perfect.
Good thing we came back here.
Yeah. Okay. That should be everything here. Bird.
Oh.
Actually, I was gonna say I'm not gonna shoot him because I don't want to have to. Go.
We're not getting nothing from that bird, by the way.
Fucking hate birds.
It was a bird of lies the whole time.
Deceiving, treacherous, horrible, two-faced creatures. Disgusting. Oh, heck. Alright. Here's the thing. I could easily play this for many hours. We're coming up on the 2-hour
Kish,
mark.
hexagon piece for the hexagon.
Thank you.
Sorry. Just...
No. Do not apologize. I was thinking about it and then I just ran past where I was supposed to go. So I appreciate it.
Are we gonna finish like after this, or are we gonna do El Gigante first? Oh,
I mean,
it's horrible.
I want to do the El Gigante fight, right? It's really
This puzzle's a dang nightmare, huh?
doing it like this, huh?
How do we get anything to anywhere? I don't understand. I'm too dumb for this.
No, it's just very rude, is the thing.
It's incredibly rude.
I get where they want me to put the pieces. I just don't understand how they want me to put the pieces there. Is the main thing.
Yeah, we need the outside. I understand which bits is the outside. Oh, that looks good. We just need the top one down there?
Yeah.
Fucking top right this time. Okay. It's coming together. We can get the lobster claw where it's supposed to be.
Gonna have to rotate these pieces many times. There we go. There we go. There we go. You better be worth it. Depraved idol.
Cool, that's a Cthulhu right there.
An eerie statue made of pure gold.
It's not even that good. It's just kind of cool. Don't even sell for that much, and we can't put gems in it.
I hate it. I hate it.
Wasn't worth having to do that horrible puzzle.
No. I mean, the puzzle could have taken way longer than it did, but I'm still not happy about it.
If I were doing it, that puzzle would have taken way longer than it did. We've just been clicking all the buttons and getting mad.
Listen, puzzle is not better than me.
It's true.
I only yell at Kingdom Hearts. I don't know why I keep checking my inventory, but I do.
What can I interest you in?
Buy my shit!
A deal well struck.
Oh, wait. Right, we have to go back to the quarry. I was like, why have you not given me my things yet? It's because I haven't finished the thing yet.
Not quite.
Okay.
Any leftover errands before going this way? Be a shame.
No, I understand. I understand, but I have to go this way a bit to finish my errands. I don't think you understand. that there was treasure here?
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's a box.
Oh.
What you got? Ooh!
I can definitely have at least one gem in it.
It can have 3 gems.
Oh, we could put 3 blues in there.
Yeah, we could.
Is 3 blues better than a like red, blue, and a yellow? I think it is, right?
Where is my...
I mean, you could try both ways.
1.3.
Oh, okay.
One of each
Okay,
is...
trio's slightly better.
Yeah. And slightly is still better.
Yep. Don't want to waste the gems.
It's true.
Lena to work to track all those down. It's like halfway up the dang cliff.
Yeah.
Where is?
How do I get up?
Don't want to have to shoot it during the boss fight.
Yeah, that'd be kind of unfortunate. There it is.
Oh. That's sneaky. It's ridiculous.
No! Please! Come on!
I think you're hitting an invisible wall. It looks like the bullet's hitting like way close. Yeah, you're hitting the wall in front of you, but it's big.
Fuck! But I want it! It's right there!
It's a big old Todd Howard wall.
No!
Can we shoot through the sticks? I mean, I can see it pretty clearly through the sticks.
Oh!
Definitely went over there this time.
Leon. Yes, I'm gonna use all of my rifle bullets to do this. Come on!
I think it's getting stopped by a second invisible wall
Ah!
closer to the thing.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Please, I
horrible.
know where it is.
Wait!
Oh,
That's all.
we are kind of going into this fight with like no ammo.
Maybe
Is-
that dog will bring us some bullets.
That would be great. I love that dog.
So that's a job well done. Deserves payment in kind. Ooh,
Yeah, it does.
what
Give me
you
that
buying
stock.
there? This will help you
Give
put
me
them
that
in their
stuff.
place.
Give me that too, actually.
Pleasant.
All right.
We could do one with 3 reds and one with 3 blues.
Or I could do one of each in both.
We could.
Here's the
How
thing.
much is the yellow worth?
7,000?
I think. Well, we'd get more money right now if we did a red, a blue, and a yellow in both. I think.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, we might. I think that is worth more because the reds are like half as much as yellows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting
Less-
1.4,
less than half.
1.3 times instead of 1.4 times.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting 1.3 times 14,000 instead of 1.4 times 9,000. Yeah, that's definitely more.
This, and I will
I
do
know.
a hydrate.
We're
in
doing
just
math
a minute.
here.
Thank you for the hydrate.
Plus, it looks beautiful. One of each.
Travel. Welcome.
Hey, buy my trash. And I drink my water. Drink my water.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want a fighting chance out there, you best tune up your kit.
Nothing really I need to purchase at the moment. You know what? Let's just go ahead and buy the flash
Information
grenade.
is a
Yeah, I think
commodity
that's fair.
these days.
Considering we got this much money and It's not like we won't use them.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Just
better
that
to
we
just
might
say,
not build them often, but you know.
Yeah. but it'd be helpful for the times that I might want to.
Yeah.
Vertigo
It says-
Merchant, he's pretty alright.
I'm gonna say it's a decent merchant, but actually, when you increase your ammo capacity, he doesn't give you free bullets, so he's a bad merchant.
My goodness.
I would give him my lowest review of all times. Only 6 thumbs up.
Only 6? 6
Only
thumbs?
6.
Wow.
As you wished.
I don't really need to increase the power of my rifle, but what if I did?
This kind of work is about
Power's
finesse,
not that
stranger.
high on the rifle. I think you just get like a big multiplier if you hit the weak spots.
Yeah.
Is what's happening.
If you want a fighting chance out there, you best tune up your kit.
Yeah, it's got better power, but I think I want to stick with the Punisher.
Right, solo red node then.
Yeah.
I think the Punisher's great. But like the handling is just a lot better, right? And it matters more in this because in the original, the bullet always goes exactly where the laser point is, right?
Stranger. Ooh, I'll pay a
Whereas in
pretty
this
penny
one,
So
you have
it's
to
a
deal
little
with
more
spread and
finicky.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your weapons are in
And
good
you really
hands
can't
where
walk
you
and
are.
shoot the red 9. You have to
You have to plan.
stomp.
You
Yeah.
have to be. You
We're
have to be
starting
where
get
you
an
need to be.
idea of your tastes, Freddy.
It's also like in a, you know, when there's loads of guys coming at you, you might not even think like, hey, I need to stop to shoot these guys. You might just be backing up because there's guys coming at you. What are you gonna do? Well, in that case, the red 9's gonna do very little for you. And we're flinging bullets all over the dang place.
So then, my God.
That is a big stock. Big as the dang TMP.
Right.
Very good.
Fuck, better be. Let me put that back there. I have my grenades shortcutted. Do I really need? It's been helpful. It has been helpful. No, I didn't want to equip that. It's fine though. You're where you need to be. Okay, got everything where I like it.
TMP's not on anything because we only pull it out in special occasions.
Yeah. Hello, Saphira.
That's Saphira doing now. I'm redeeming Saphira treat.
Shit. Hey, there's a guy up there. I like your hat.
Oh, he's cool.
So he's going Las Plagas. Here comes the boy.
Look him.
Hello, boy.
His upper half is so big, and he's got little tiny legs compared to the rest of him. And I love
Yeah.
him.
No, he's good.
Shit, that was close.
Right in the butthole. No.
Oh, his thing's coming out his back. He's got worms too.
Ah! You two wiggle. You two wiggle. You two wiggle. Do the melee.
Julia! Alright.
Oh, look at it! It's disgusting. I love it.
Glad we can still do that.
That
It's
dog!
a dog!
Hey, it's that dog. Hey, break house. Hey, break house.
Hey, that dog, little help.
The dog! The dog, what are you doing?
Come on, that dog. Don't leave us hanging over here. I think that dog's only here for moral support. Oh,
That's fine.
oh.
The dog!
Never mind.
I'm scared for that dog. I'm worried about that dog. I'm worried about that dog!
Oh. Good boy.
Fuck.
Oh,
Nope.
he's mad.
Yep. Ah! I didn't
Oof.
plan my run very well. I got scared, is the thing.
Makes sense.
Hey, you know what? We've got 1,000,001 eggs.
We have a couple eggs. We've been known to egg.
I'm egging up right now. Technically.
Technically, we're egging down.
Yeah, but Leon has egg in him, which is like egging up. Shotgun shells, please.
I don't know about that.
It's true.
Why did it put them there? Why did it put them there facing the wrong way? How does it make these decisions?
Fuck.
Does it do it wrong on purpose?
I've gotta believe it does.
Wait. Oh, he's going down again. Still not
Are
that
we done?
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless it's a fake act. No, okay.
No, I see we're done. Yellow done.
Pancake. Okay.
You were almost
That
a
was too
Leon
close.
sandwich.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Aw,
cool.
Look at him though.
It's really good.
Oh, he looks so cool.
Yeah, he does.
That dog?
It's that dog. Where's that dog?
That dog? That dog! Come here, you're a good boy and I want to pet you.
I want to pet that dog.
What's this? Ooh. Rearing log. 6 months. Its teeth have only just come through, but it shoves everything within reach into its mouth. Can't walk yet, but it swallowed a dog whole. 9 months. It already towers over me, but it keeps growing. Town hall can no longer contain it. 10 months. It keeps growing even after moving to the quarry. It can devour a whole cow in only 3 days. That's... Listen, if I was challenged to do it, I could probably eat a whole cow in 3 days. That's nothing. I would be so uncomfortably full, but could technically do it. 13 months! It can swing our largest pickaxe as if it were a twig! One of the men in the village was almost eaten today, too. It's not getting enough food. Well, yeah, if you're only feeding it a cow every 3 days! 17 months. There are only a few cows left now. At this rate, the whole village will starve. We summoned help from the castle and had them put the beast to sleep with an incantation. Hopefully it won't wake for a long time. Well, he's not waking up for a very long time now.
Yeah, we did an incantation too.
Did that dog go?
I think that dog went. I think he was doing something cool and we had to look and we didn't know where to look.
Yeah. Well, thank you, that dog. I appreciate you.
I don't know if the directional sound on this is as good as the original. It's certainly not as good as the Dead Space,
Yeah, it's...
which it's hard to not compare with, considering.
Absolutely. It's fine. But it's definitely, it is a little more difficult to like tell exactly where things are coming from, which is unfortunate. Where is it? There it is. Like the directional sound in the original, from what I could tell,
It's really good.
Was really good.
Yeah.
Dead Space was fantastic, and so having just played that not too long ago and now playing this, it's like, well, it does leave a little to be desired.
The like big sound cues are definitely there. It's just hard to tell exactly where things are coming from. Like you can tell exactly when someone's becoming a wiggler. You can tell when you're in a fight and when you're not. You can tell when people are trying to throw dynamite at you.
Yeah.
It's just not exactly where these things are coming from.
Yeah. This way? It is just a straight path. I understand. Leon, it's just water. You're fine. You're fine, buddy.
What if his hair gets ruined by the rain?
It's not going to. Listen.
It'll never happen. It's too powerful.
Yeah. It's perfect the way it is. Maybe we get to the church, actually, since we're... Are they going to... Yep. Oh, shit!
Rifle's so good.
More dog? More dog?
I want to see the numbers on how much damage the rifle, like how much bonus damage it's doing when you hit a weak point, because it's lots.
It's, yeah.
The listed damage is like half what your shotgun does. The rifle does considerably more damage than the shotgun if you hit a weak point. I am convinced.
I believe it. Before we go into the church, don't necessarily want to backtrack at the moment. Just trying to see what all there is.
We do know we visit town again because there was that area we couldn't reach without Ashley.
And same with the Chief's Manor.
Yeah. But if you wanted to like save here and then go backtracking next time, I assume that the stream's winding down now. But that'd be fine by me.
I mean,
I'm here for whatever. I just want to see Leon.
The thing is, again, I could just play all dang day and be incredibly happy about it. But we should probably end stream. Because doing the El Gigante fight. Well, we gotta be close to the end of the chapter, right?
Yeah, that's true. In original, when you get in the church, it's just like a puzzle, and then you go through a door, and then you're in the main church. And
You know what,
like
actually,
the church itself is just a puzzle.
yeah. No, we'll save here because we'll just enjoy the time that we've had without Ashley.
Oh yeah, we will be meeting us soon. We have 5.5 hours in, still haven't seen a single bit of Ashley.
And so, yeah. I was gonna say some of that was, offline stuff, but no, you've already accounted for that. But that's fine. So next weekend, we'll do the church, and we'll get to Ashley.
Ashley?
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say something and I've just like completely forgotten it. It's fine. It's great because I get to play my hardcore mode offline all week, so I'm not gonna be, without without some Resident Evil content, because otherwise, waiting a week would be miserable. But yeah, that's stream for today. Fruity, thanks for hanging out. It's always wonderful, always fun.
I love Leon.
We love Leon. Listen. Shall we find someone to read in?
Yeah.
I have 3 people on right now. Nimbly's doing some Legend of Zelda. Which one is it? Twilight Princess. Good one.
Ooh. That's where he turns into a dog, right?
That's where Link is a dog, and we get to see our sweet little goblin wife, Midna. I love Midna.
Nice.
Sinnoh is doing his Dusk Falls, and Meezy is back. Doing
Ooh.
some music stuff. Y'all want to go see Meezy? I think she's recently no, she did recently rebrand. She's now Meezy Pop.
Oh.
Let's say hi to Meezy.
Yeah.
Caps lock is on.
Thanks for hanging out with us now.
Yeah.
Got to the El Gigante.
It was still a very cool fight. And I'm glad it wasn't more difficult than it was. I don't know. I always like feel like the El Gigante fight is gonna be like really, really difficult, and then you get into it and kind of breeze through it, and you're like, oh, it's actually fine. Is the thing. The thing about El Gigante, at least the first fight, fine. It's fine.
It just doesn't like stick around as long as you worry you will. It just doesn't have that much health. It's very reasonable.
It's fine.
Just blow through them.
Yeah. But yeah, we will be back this next week. I think I'm doing more Psychonauts this week, probably. And then
Nice.
Resident Evil this coming weekend. Take care, friends. We'll see you later, I guess. Yeah.
Bye.
Very bad at sign-offs now, but it's fine. Let's go say hi to Meezy.